right, so welcome back to the second part of News Hour tonight. And on the round table tonight is Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba, Youth Affairs, the Arts, and, of course, Sports. A lot to talk about tonight. Thank you so much, Waziri, for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me.
You know the surprise? I sit where I sit in the newsroom. I sit next to a window that I can see the parking. So I'm looking at the parking and I'm seeing only 2 cars. I'm wondering, you're not the person that was saying you're bullying people with Subarus and flags all over? I thought that was you, actually.
No, I mean, I am a very modest person, ordinarily. And so that is who I am. And by the way, I've never had any interaction with a Subaru in my life, either privately or in public office.
What do you mean? Never driven a Subaru?
Never driven a Subaru. Never had a Subaru on my fleet. So maybe it's about time I interacted with a Subaru.
Yeah, because when it was said, actually, we thought, is this Ababu Namwamba who's doing this? I've never seen you on the road. So I just thought I had to ask because I've only seen 2 cars and I was wondering. But away from that, where is this trouble from? I mean, you work for the president. You work for Kenya Kwanza government. You were a CS. The onslaught in parliament is basically and majorly by your side. What's going on? What did you do? Perhaps that's a question.
First of all, let me say I'm not in the habit of eating anybody's goat. So I haven't eaten anybody's goat, either knowingly or unknowingly. But perhaps I have a different perspective. I look at these as Parliament exercising its oversight role. And I have sat in that Parliament for 10 years. I have held positions of responsibility in that Parliament. I have chaired committees of Parliament. And I know that parliamentary oversight is one of the key responsibilities of Parliament. So I look at it actually positively. The Parliament has to exercise this role to oversight the executive.
That's Absolutely. How you say it?
I see it that way, yes.
But your name has come out prominently. I can mention 3 people, and the kind of accusations or allegations against you doesn't look like it's Parliament doing oversight. It looks like you're targeted. So I want to know why you have the bullseye on your back.
If anybody is targeting me for whatever reason, then that is something which Ashunzu has said. The only 3 things that are for long don't stay hidden is the sun, the moon, and the truth. And so if there is anything like that, it will sooner rather than later come out. But for me, I have absolutely no problem with parliamentary oversight. And this is also an opportunity to listen to the concerns of members of Parliament, respond to those concerns, and interact. You get a feeling also that limited interaction could also fuel a lot of misunderstanding. And this kind of interaction for me gives me an opportunity to share information. So I have absolutely no problem with it.
You sound like you're being nice to Parliament.
No. I'm saying I'm a believer in parliamentary oversight. And I think there should be more opportunities of this nature, not just for me, but for Cabinet, for the executive, to interact with Parliament.
Well, they're not being nice to you.
I mean, when it comes to public office, I don't think we are appointed to public office to be nice to each other. We are appointed to public office to work. We have a job to do. We have the public to serve, and we have to serve this public. And as I repeatedly said in Parliament this afternoon, that speaking about my space, I inherited a space that was so messed up. I would love to have Parliament as a partner in fixing this space. I would love to have Parliament as a partner to increase funding to sports. I would love to have Parliament as a partner to fix the challenges of governance and accountability in some sporting federations. So I actually see Parliament as a crucial partner. Parliament has a budgeting role. Parliament has a legislative role. All those roles are critical in any of us who seeks to deliver services to the public.
Okay. You know why this is also a surprise? Because this is a familiar ground. During the Grand Coalition government, You are the sports minister. I mean,
Yes.
this is not an unfamiliar territory. For you to be accused not being able to do your work properly, I mean, it's an indictment to someone who served in that docket before, and when you're much younger.
I understand this terrain very, very well. I served in the coalition government as Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports, so this is not new territory for me. I listened to a lot of the issues that members of parliament raised, and there are issues that required clarification, issues that you needed information. For instance, take the issue on kitting. It was important, that it's good that we got the opportunity to clarify two important things. That number one, kitting is contractual. You don't just wake up and put on any uniform to an international event. Kitting is contractual. The Athletics Kenya, National Olympics Committee of Kenya, which are autonomous agencies, have entered into contract with Nike. And there is no way...
Adidas?
Pardon?
Not Adidas?
Not Adidas. Adidas does not kit any Kenyan team.
Where did they get that from?
And if you were to, if for instance our team in Budapest were to put on anything other than Nike, it would raise a furore, it would raise serious issues. Because those are issues of intellectual property, they are issues of copyright. Nike, the Nike tick is copyrighted. You cannot mix it or commingle it with another brand. Brands are very protective of their turf, very, very protective of their space. The other thing we got opportunity to clarify is that federations take responsibility for events. It is federations which select teams, it's federations which generate budgets, it's federations which manage the sportsmen and women in their space, and government plays a facilitative role. Government plays a regulatory role. That's where you see when you attempt to touch football, FIFA comes with a big stick and tells you you are going to ban Kenya because of government interference. So it was also important for us to share with members of parliament that sports management is a very big shared responsibility. And there are so many stakeholders. Government plays a role, federations play a role, Parliament has a critical role to play in terms of legislation, appropriation of resources, and all of us have to play our role for us to be effective.
There's a lot to talk about that, because in the second hour we are going to dig deeper into all these allegations that came out. But before I let you go, I want you to comment about this. When a hyena wants to eat one of its children,
yes,
they start accusing them of smelling like a goat.
Are you suggesting that there are hyenas around me?
Are you suggesting someone is not saying you're a kid?
What I know, and I say this on the floor of Parliament, I have no doubt that I have performed superbly well since I was appointed to this docket 10 months ago. I inherited a mess. FIFA bans, looming doping suspension by World Athletics, infrastructure that could not be allowed to host anything by CAF, okay? We got the ban lifted. We got the doping set aside, the threat of a ban by World Athletics set aside. We committed $5 million a year for the next 5 years and put together a multi-agency team headed by an athletics legend in his own right and a former member of parliament, Wesley Korir, who is leading that team. And I believe that multi-agency team that is working together with the Athletics Integrity Unit under the World Anti-Doping Agency, together with World Athletics, is going to give us a very strong platform to confront doping.
I need to take a break, but we'll talk extensively about this, so don't worry about it. But what you're saying, this is all credit to you. It was not work in progress when you inherited that ministry. Just in a few words, we have to take a break.
There was a big mess. I believe that since we took over 10 months ago, we have turned around sports.
Good. Yes. A good place to take a break. CS Ababu Namwamba stays with us for the next hour. In about 20 minutes, he'll be back on the roundtable.